La 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 la.
Live and direct. We're back.
Hey y'all. What's up, Instagram? Hey, we on Instagram today, y'all.
Yeah, that's why we got the little camera here. We're on IG. And of course we're on Facebook and YouTube like always.
Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks.
But why would they? Why would anyone subscribe to our sports show when
the sports don't give you anything to really talk about?
The two worst teams in the history of all sports, apparently, to hear everyone else tell it.
Well, one of them might be right now.
Yeah, right now the Panthers look that way. The Hornets aren't as bad as everyone wishes they were, but they're still not a good team.
I still have hope for the Hornets. I do.
If LaMelo Ball get his ankles right, we'll be fine.
Yeah, but then he'll come back and then somebody, you know what? We're not doing that right now. Hello, y'all. Welcome to Under Construction.
Under Construction. I'm Kaiser Sose.
I'm Jamal, the numb black fan.
Yeah, keep pounding, whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
So we gotta talk about these guys again.
Keep getting pounded.
So we lose to the Saints, which I mean we predicted they would lose.
Yeah.
And I mean, it wasn't anything you hadn't seen before. I will say this though. They're running the ball.
They're running the ball.
And they're running it well.
Yeah.
2 straight weeks of 100 yards plus rushing.
Yeah.
What else we got? What else we got?
How do you run the ball for what 204 yards today and lose by 22? So
actually, I know how because
the Panthers invent new ways to lose. That's how.
It's 4th and 1. The Saints can't stop.
They can't stop the run.
Can't stop the run.
Nah,
Chuba, Miles,
yeah.
yeah.
Line them up and get the 1 yard, right?
Empty backfield.
No.
I wouldn't even do that in Madden. I wouldn't even come out in empty backfield for 4th and 1. Now, to be fair, the play call itself wasn't terrible, and it almost worked. But, of course, Panther shit happens, and Raheem Blackshear slips on the turf and, can't catch it. He almost caught it.
He almost caught it.
Miles Sanders.
Is that not the Panthers season in a nutshell? Like,
No. Actually, worse than that. Miles Sanders runs 48 yards to the 1 yard line. Next play, they run it right up the middle. Stopped. Then I don't know what they thought. Why would you pass it? Why would you?
I don't get.
I don't even. Why are we talking about? What's going on in Charlotte this week?
What's going on in Charlotte this week? That's the thing. Nothing's going on in Charlotte either.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. The Nutcracker is apparently at the Blumenthal. I know the Soulful Symphony was downtown.
Beetlejuice the musical.
Yes,
is coming. I do want to see that.
Yes,
people are scalping tickets already though for that because that's what we do.
Right.
So
because
if you get to go, good on you.
Because your football team is not going to provide you with a lot of entertainment.
Not.
So
yeah, Bryce. You can tell Bryce Young is too polite a young man. But
I agree.
He wants to punch offensive linemen, and he has to do everything. That's why these critics of his,
they bother me.
Yeah. Have you not seen this man? Every single drop back, there's 2 or 3 defenders in his face. Why? I don't understand Ike Ekwonu. Someone who knows football better than me, explain to me how I see him get beat every single snap. I don't understand.
All right, so I actually heard a sort of an explanation last week on the radio, and okay. I don't know if I'm wording this correctly.
Right.
It was something to the effect of that offensive line scheme is related to your regular offensive scheme, if I'm making any sense.
Okay, that does make sense.
So not, Ike Ekwonu is going to be the highlight of the offensive line. Plus, he's getting beat the most. He's the left tackle.
Right.
And it's not just him. Let's be clear. It's the whole offensive line. So if we're attempting to be objective with the offensive line, which is hard because they suck.
Terrible.
They're the worst. Okay.
Yeah.
If we're attempting to be objective, we can pinpoint, well, they had a whole new offensive scheme to work with this year. Now, I will say this. To me, there's no coincidence that in run blocking, they ran for 204 yards today, right? They've been running the ball well. And I know you're a stats guy. If you look at the PFF grades, the run blocking is okay. It's not bad.
Yep.
But the pass blocking is just beyond awful.
I don't even know if it's scheme. I'm seeing dudes just
blowing, but yeah,
they're losing their one-on-ones.
Right,
that's the most important.
And I can say that, but we also know what we see every week. And to your point, if a guy's just getting knocked on his ass, they ain't got nothing to do with scheme.
Exactly. Yeah. There was a sack where Bryce Young was sacked from behind. Ikanwu, his guy just
bull rushed him.
He just ran past him, and then Ikanwu was like,
yeah.
But you know what that is? That's part of that is coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean from a scheme standpoint. And Chris Tabor, I mean, he's just the interim coach.
Right.
What the fuck he gonna do?
I have no commentary on Chris Tabor.
But when players do stuff wrong, the coach is supposed to correct.
You got to hold them accountable, man.
Right.
You got to hold them accountable.
Like Shy Tuttle.
Right.
Let's talk. I know, everyone watching, the people in the stands, the Saints, the Panthers, God, the aliens watching, they know that the Saints are not going to snap that ball on 4th and 1 in their own territory.
What are you doing?
They're trying to draw us offside.
You've been in the league too long to
let
that
you
happen.
Could just get up and literally walk away, right? And they're going to punt. But instead, you get an encroachment call. And then they're laughing about it. He's laughing about it. The Saints players are smacking him on the head like,
right. You suck.
You stupid.
Thanks, idiot.
Don't you wish you was back on RT? If I'm the coach, and even Jonathan Vilma, by God, we had to get Jonathan Vilma today. But even Jonathan, we'll get to him in a second. Even Jonathan Vilma said, "Nah, you gotta sit down.
You gotta sit down after that."
Yeah,
right.
If you're the coach, you gotta be like, "Nah, you."
But Kaiser. Isn't that where the all-star coaching staff is supposed to come in? Like, isn't that where somebody like a Dom Capers or Caldwell is supposed to come in and be like, "Hey, man,
I don't know.
That's unacceptable." Were they even on the damn sideline today?
So I don't know how much you guys know about the mafia, the Cosa Nostra.
Where are we going with this?
All right, fill me on this. There's actually it's a very well-known mafia scheme in which guys that go to jail, when you get out of jail on parole or whatever, you have to maintain what? A job.
A job, yeah.
So what the mafia does, they set up these fake jobs for loyal people who go to jail and don't rat. So they come out, and it's not a job. They actually don't go to the job. They fake the book, so the parole officer says, "Oh yeah, this motherfucker's at work," but they get paid from the job. And as far as the company is concerned, they actually work for that company. It's a real job, but it's not a real job. You're just getting paid for it.
Right.
That's what Dom Capers and Jim Caldwell doing. They just made a job up.
And they OGs.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
They just making money.
Yeah.
They're
not really doing anything.
Yeah, they're not doing anything.
Yeah,
it's just a fake job.
Right. You know how like former basketball players, let's just be nice to say they don't have any life skills. And the organization comes and hires them as
you mean like George Lynch?
That's
Michael Jordan sells the team. George Lynch suddenly doesn't have a job. Wow, funny how that happens.
Funny how that worked.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying. Like, yeah, let's just we're gonna do him a favor.
Adam says he believes Bryce would thrive in a West Coast system. I agree.
Yeah.
I like that they're taking more downfield shots with Frank Wright gone, but I mean, if there's no time for the routes to develop, and like you said, the receivers are still running downfield, not looking.
Right.
What's the point?
And Adam, to your point, I think that's why Adam Thielen has been striving so much, this season, because he's like a West Coast system possession type of guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the problem with that is that when he's the only threat, and teams know that,
yeah,
you're going to scheme around that. When you're not scared of Laviska Shenault, or you're not scared of Chark, or you're not scared of Hayden Hurst, or whatever. Yeah, you got to have the guys around him to make it work.
I agree with this comment from Instagram from Alonzo. The Panthers blockers are downhill blockers. That's why they're able to do so good on the run.
Right.
So why don't you scheme your passing game around that instead of just drop back? Did you the one time this game Bryce Young had time to throw?
I already know. Yeah, I already know the play you talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly, right?
When he hit Thielen, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
perfect. 40
Right.
yards downfield in stride,
Right,
right?
right.
Like, just give that man time to throw. I just want Bryce Young. I just want to see him just once. Just kill the offense. Just like, look, please block for me.
I want him to just be more of an asshole. Like the season's done. There's nothing to gain from this season. Start cussing people out.
Yes.
Just
so is Tepper laundering money for the Panthers for the mob? Yes, apparently so. Setting up fake jobs for people.
Fake charitable events. Let me stop. That's not cool.
Hey, David Tepper brought music back. Limp Bizkit is coming to Charlotte.
I saw Red Hot Chili Peppers. Thanks,
with
Tepper.
Corey Feldman. That is not a joke. That's for real. Limp Bizkit and Corey Feldman.
For anybody that was born in the 80s, yes, that Corey Feldman. That guy. Yeah.
I know Danny Thompson ain't talking. Oh, let me check ESPN real quick.
Wait, hold on, because I could have swore.
I know I saw.
Because I know what I saw, right?
Okay, let me
check these scores real quick.
NFL scores.
Yep. Because let's see here.
Let's see. Atlanta,
Tampa Bay. Right.
Okay. Oh, hold on. This can't be right. The Buccaneers 29, Falcons 25. Hold on.
So what that means is
the Falcons lost.
Good evening, Danny. Don't come on here with your shit today.
We saw the score.
We saw the score, man.
We saw it. Stop pretending.
Hey, by the way, real quickly, y'all, the phone number is up. I have actually activated the phone number. It is 980-533-5877.
By the way, CPCC would beat the Panthers.
Yeah,
they would.
I think Mallard Creek would beat the Panthers right now. So
under construction could beat the Panthers.
Oh man!
Danny says 3 teams are in first place. 3 teams are 6 and 7. Man, come on, man.
We really bragging about that in the NFC South, really, dude.
Come on, man.
Really, y'all can have it this year. So what?
Actually, the team that wins the division is not in a good. None of the NFC South teams are in a good place.
All you doing is messing up draft position.
Draft position, right? The Panthers don't have any draft picks, so it don't matter.
Don't matter to us.
Yep, and if you're the Falcons, you need a quarterback, and if you win the division, you're not going to get one.
You may play yourself out of the quarterback.
Exactly. In fact, all the teams in the NFC South need a quarterback, except the Panthers.
Except the Panthers.
Who need an offensive line.
But, hey, some would argue we still need a quarterback. Some would argue that.
No, we have Andy Dalton. Y'all got to get off the Andy Dalton train.
Man, stop it, man.
These are the same people that told me that. Remember, some of y'all may not remember. Remember when people thought Andy Dalton was better than Cam Newton?
Yeah.
Remember that? For years?
I was there.
Andy Dalton's not better than Cam Newton.
Andy Dalton ain't better than me.
No, he had one game where he threw for 300 yards, and we lost by 2 touchdowns. I remember that. That's why I had 300 yards, because we were behind the entire game.
Short memory.
This man threw for 53 passes, and I'm supposed to be over under week 18 for Fitterer to get fired.
I'm gonna go.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna go even. I think he gets fired right after week 18. I do. I think after the last game, he's done.
I agree.
I'm going to bet that. Those are my betting odds.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's no way you keep Scott Fitterer after the season. There's no way. If you keep Scott Fitterer after this season,
he's got something on Tepper.
He got
something. When y'all get bored enough, go look at some of the missed draft picks Scott Fitterer has made with this team.
What's the best move Scott Fitterer has made as GM of the Panthers?
Y'all can cue the Jeopardy music right now.
Did he draft Derek Brown?
No.
That was Hurney?
I don't think he did. Y'all can help us out on that one. I don't think he did. Because Derek, by the way,
keep Derek Brown. Keep Derek Brown.
Keep that guy.
Yeah.
Panthers. I know you like giving away your best guys. That's what we do these days.
Yeah.
We give away McCaffrey. We give away more. You better not do that with Derek Brown. That dude is a monster, man.
Let's see. Derek Brown was in the 2020 draft. So, I think that was a Fitterer pick.
That may be Fitterer. Okay.
I'm going to give him some credit for that.
Right.
Yeah. In fact, hot take, controversial statement. Trade Brian Burns. I know you love Brian Burns, Flores. I love Brian Burns.
No, but I get what you're saying.
You got you can anchor the defense. You go back to a 4-3. You got Derek Brown there.
Right.
You find a way to re-sign Luvu.
Yep.
Shaq Thompson's back.
Right.
You got a healthy J.C. Horn. That's not a terrible defense. The defense hasn't been the problem this season.
Right.
And I think you could trade Brian Burns. I don't even think he wants to stay. I think
that was my point. Yeah. I don't think he's happy anyway. So there's that.
I think you could trade Brian Burns and get some.
And on top of that, Florida State dude, love you some Brian Burns. He ain't $30 million worth, bro. No,
absolutely not.
No,
absolutely not. And I mean, I'm not even sure if he's the best defensive player on the Panthers. I know that's like the de facto that he is.
Right.
But Louisville was really good.
Louisville was good, man.
And Derek Brown is having a great season.
Right.
So
I go with Derek Brown. Listen, y'all gonna be mad at me. Derek Brown to me is approaching best D tackle in football.
Yeah,
he's that good, dude.
This is a good point Adam brings up. But how stupid would it be to trade Burns when you could have had him for a haul last year? True.
However, but when you're bad, copy Hornets. When you're bad and you make mistakes, what do you do to cover mistakes? Those are the type of moves you make to cover. So there's the hamster wheel that keeps going around. And that's where we're at.
The Panthers have to do something. They need first
round
draft.
But they need to do something,
They need first-round draft picks.
Right.
You can't have a season this bad and then draft in the second round. You need a first-round draft pick.
Right.
And you preferably need one in the top 15. And the only way to even come close to that is you package Brian Burns up in like the 5th rounder that you got from the Christian McCaffrey trade. And you see if you
know how sad that sounds.
I know, right? Yeah. And then you see and then you see what you can get.
Right.
A wide receiver. I mean, DJ Moore was what, 20s?
Yeah, 19, 20 something.
Yeah,
right,
I mean, you could get a guy for Bryce Young,
right.
That could change your offense.
Right.
Wide receiver, tight end, maybe not offensive lineman because really good offensive linemen are not going to hang around that long in the draft. They're going to go very early, but they got to do something.
Yeah.
And Brian Burns is the obvious target.
Right. Look, man, if you're gonna trade away, one of your franchise's best players ever, man, why don't you flip that extra second round pick you got in Brian Burns and go really get something of value, or at least attempt to?
You know what? I was thinking about this today with watching Alvin Kamara. He was drafted the same draft as Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And they're essentially kind of the same kind of player. Mm-hmm. I think McCaffrey is a little bit better, just a little bit. But
I think he's significantly better, but
stats-wise, they're very even. And they've both had a history of injury concerns. They've both missed a lot of time. But Alvin Kamara is still with the Saints.
Right.
At no point did the Saints, who have been as bad as the Panthers recently, never did they think, you know what?
Let's try to see what we can get for this guy.
Yeah, let's and they pay. He gets paid like McCaffrey did, right?
Yep.
In fact, his contract is why McCaffrey got what he got from the Panthers.
Right.
So, and we saw what he did today.
But apparently, we're in the business of making other teams better. Like that's
Charlotte.
That's
shit,
just
man.
Some Charlotte shit, man.
DJ was 24. Thank you, Ty. I mean, if you could get a guy like DJ Moore
at 24,
but that was a Marty Herney pick,
right? And we know what Marty Herney does in the first round.
Yeah,
we don't. I don't know. He
drafts Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, I don't know if Scott Fitterer is that guy. So exactly.
I want to answer this. Do we think Israel Evero stays?
I think he does. I lean toward yes. Even with the whole 3-4-4-3 kind of switch at this point, which I'll give him a little bit of objectivity here. Coaches want to bring their own system wherever they go, right?
The defense has been solid this year. I really don't have any complaints.
But listen, here's what I really like about Evero. He said, all right, the roster ain't really built for this 3-4. Let's try something different. At least one coach did that. The other coach didn't do that, and guess where he's at? So
he's at home collecting a bunch of money. Please, David Tepper, please. Just let me fail.
I'm good at that. I can fail.
Not even that much. And I ain't pay me that much, you know? I can make Jay-Z references, too.
I'll cut off the music in practice.
Think about how rich Matt Rule is. And he's at Nebraska. Look how much Nebraska paid him. I mean, All right. Are we talking stats?
Willie Smith.
Oh, Willie's calling in.
Willie, what you got, man? Welcome to Under Construction.
Hey, gentlemen, it's always great to hear you guys give your after action review of these games.
Yeah, man. Thanks for drowning in our sorrows with us, brother. Thanks.
Hey, keep pounding and whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
What you got, man?
I got a couple things on mine. The first is that 13 games we've gone through, and I'm not gonna let Frank Reich off the bus as easy as he's gonna collect this $25 million a year.
Right.
But he was in on this. He was part of that big coaching search. This was a guy Tepper wanted. He selected his own coaches. He was part of the search for the quarterback for the future for the Panthers.
Right.
He put this scheme together for the offense because he's offensive minded guru, head coach.
Offensive guru, yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say our next head coach, if anybody use the term offensive minded head coach, no. Because get a head coach that can coach.
Right.
That can bring all coaches together working off the same sheet of music.
Hey, Willie. Hey, Willie. Do you mean somebody who can like change the culture? Is that where we're kind of going with that?
Hey, have a culture. You have an identity for the last 13 games. The dude didn't even have an identity.
Right.
You know, so when he was selected, my mindset was that he would have to win twice as many games as Steve Wilkes.
Yeah.
To be successful.
We said the same thing.
Yep.
Because this dude had everything laid out for him, and he just fumbled the bag. Well, he didn't fumble the bag; he still collected the bag, but he just fumbled the whole thing. And I'm looking at this. I think that our future head coach is already on the team. Give it to either Brown or
Ivero. Yeah.
Because these guys know they're going to work twice as hard to look good, and they're going to do it.
Yep.
So give it to one of those two guys. I don't want to hear about the Harbaugh brother coming in and taking over.
I do.
Forget him. Take one of these young guys off the team we currently already have and let him go with it.
All right, Willie. All right, Willie. Hey, Willie, thank you so much for the call, man. Appreciate that. Again, that phone line is open. Willie, thank you. Kaza, let me say this in regards to what Willie just said. The Panthers may not have a choice because who wants this job?
Who would take it?
Listen, Willie, the one thing I respectfully disagree with, I would throw a parade on try on a trade if we hired Jim Harbaugh. However, why would he want to come here?
Actually, I think Harbaugh would because it's easy.
Real quick, Kaza, I'm gonna let you get to your point. Before you say that, Ivero to me would make sense.
Right. Yeah.
He's here. He's established his defense. You can trust that he can do that. But I just wanted to say that. Get to your point. I'm sorry. I mean to cut you off, brother.
I think that coaching a good team is easy, right?
Right.
It's easy to come into a good situation. Coaching a bad team is very difficult. But Harbaugh has done that before.
He's done that, right.
He's taken bad teams.
Made them better.
And made them better because of his coaching.
Right.
What he did in San Francisco was very key by not, people were mad when he benched Alex Smith for Colin Kaepernick. Mm-hmm. But he said, I got something with this guy that no one else has.
I can see something nobody else saw.
Exactly.
Right.
And he rode that all the way
to the Super Bowl.
They didn't win, but I mean, he did that, right? That's the kind of coach the Panthers need. They need someone who can say, okay, this team sucks, but
I see something somebody else doesn't see.
Look at this. Oh, wait, look how y'all see how Bryce Young looked like a little miniature Michael Vick. There was a meme it was about Kyler Murray. It's like when Kyler Murray runs, he looked like a toddler with his parents' phone running away. That's how Bryce Young look out there. But he'd be shaking dudes, right?
The mobility is there,
right?
Man. Yeah.
So it's like, my offensive line
that?
can't block.
Right.
We need time for the receivers to run their routes. Why don't we run a more motion-oriented offense around Bryce Young?
Right.
That's like what Frank Wright can't do that because that's not his style.
That's not his style.
Right?
He's not used to
He's
running
not
that kind
as
of offense.
adaptable, right? Where a guy like Harbaugh would be more adaptable. And I think that he would say, okay, this is a good challenge for me, and I'd love to work with a guy like Bryce Young. Having said that, I don't think it happens.
Yeah,
I don't think it happens. I think Tepper, he's now gun shy at making the big splash move.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Belichick's been tied to the Panthers,
so here's hindsight talking. Was Matt Rule really a splash move? If you think about it, like I get it, he paid him all that money, and that may appear like it was a splash move, but was it really? I mean, we're talking about an unproven Matt Rule, so
yeah, Steve Clifford, come close to Panthers.
At least we know Clifford will cuss him out. At least we know that.
Bill Cowher, I think Bill Cowher's too. Oh, yeah. I'm not these old guys who haven't coached in a while. I think that was part of the issue with Frank Reich too. Mm-hmm. His style is very old school, and I think a guy like Harbaugh is more in tune with the newer NFL,
right?
And I will say this about the Matt Rule hiring. I don't know if it was a bad hiring because at the time no one hated that.
Yeah, at
that
the
hiring,
time. That's why I wanted to be clear. It's hindsight talking.
There was a lot of trepidation because it was like, well, yeah, he built two good college programs,
but can he do it in the NFL? Does it translate to the NFL?
And it didn't.
Right. And
it was college shit,
right?
And it just didn't work, right? So I'm not going to give Tepper a lot of flack for Matt Rule. It was just that
I can't believe I'm saying this. I cannot believe I'm saying this. I will actually give Tepper credit for taking a risk because we don't like them when they don't work out, right?
Yeah.
Right. But to be fair, it's like, all right, you got to take risks sometimes and they don't work sometimes. So
that's true. So I don't know. I agree the Panthers need someone who's going to implement a culture. But I think more importantly,
but like Willie said, have one first.
Yeah, you gotta have one. But they need a guy who can actually scheme. Right. They need a guy who can call plays. They need a guy who's gonna end.
They need a football nerd type of guy.
They need that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Look at fucking Miami.
Excuse me. Hey, Rob.
What's Rob Chazinski?
Rob, what you got going on, man?
Yeah.
Rob, you ain't doing. Hey.
Hey, come on
home, man.
Back, bro. We got 2 comments in the chat say Dion. Hey, man,
that would be hilarious.
Wholeheartedly believe Deion Sanders would be a superb coach in the NFL.
You really? That's strong.
You know why?
Okay.
You know why Deion Sanders is as what he's done for college football and shucking the world.
Right.
He has charisma that players love. They love playing for Coach Sanders.
I can see that.
And I know everyone is clowning Colorado now because they went
the season
4-8,
right, which is 3 more games than they won
last season. But look at the difference and look how he had those players were so invested in being coached by the great Deion Sanders at Colorado. Watch when the transfer portal opens up.
Yeah.
It's open season.
Right.
You're going to start seeing guys go. And I think that would translate to the NFL. Deion Sanders and Deion, he'll hold dudes accountable. There's no way Deion Sanders let Shy Tuttle play another snap.
Right.
After that.
It ain't like he afraid to talk either.
Right,
so
because what you going to do?
Right. What you going to tell Deion Sanders?
Exactly. You sit down with the rest of them. So, but that Deion said he's never come to the NFL coach.
Don't say that.
I think once his sons graduate,
don't say that, because I want to be very clear. I do not mean this in some demeaning, mean way. Deion is an opportunist, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I want to be very clear about that. So don't say he won't come to NFL, because if the right job comes along, you never know, man.
He ain't coming to the Panthers.
Could you imagine Dave Tepper trying to?
Oh, that never works out. That would not work out.
That's not going to work at all.
Nicole Tepper would not stand for it.
That's really
Could you imagine the Nicole Tepper Deion Sanders interview?
Deion be like,
my God.
what you doing here?
Oh my God. I'd pay money to see that.
Man, please be a fly on that wall, bro.
What do we think about Louis Riddick as GM? Louis Riddick, I'm sorry.
We mentioned that before.
Yeah.
We mentioned that a few seasons ago, man. He's very bright, man. Very, very smart guy.
Which is why he won't get the job. He won't. He's capable, so no.
That's the kind of out of the box hire I would actually love. That is one of those quote unquote risky moves, and I say risky because he's been on TV for so long. He hasn't been like in an office or whatever.
Right, yeah.
But at the same time, I would love a move like that. But again, we won't.
We just need a coach, like Jermon says.
What's up, Jermon?
Rush for 2 of 200 yards and then you throw the ball on important key downs. I mean, notice what the Saints did. The Saints was like, the Panthers can't stop the run, so let's just keep running
the ball. Let's run the ball. What a concept. What an amazing concept that is. Kaz, what do you real quick, man? I want to throw this at you, and I just want you to sum this up. I know what you're gonna say, but what do you think about this? Bryce Young was 13 for 36, 137. Provide context for us, because I know you will.
So the Panthers threw deep more than they have ever did.
Yeah.
Maybe more in this game than they have collectively all season.
Right.
And so a lot of those throws are going to be off target. You're just not going to be as accurate. One of the biggest, I'm going to invoke the name of the great Cam Newton here. One of the biggest knocks on Cam Newton was his accuracy, right? But the Panthers threw more passes downfield than any other team in the league when Cam Newton was the quarterback.
Right.
Because he had an arm, Cam Newton could like literally off his back foot throw it 60 yards. Right? So they go deep a lot, and you're just going to be less accurate. Notice that when the Panthers switched offense coordinator to Ken Dorsey and they started this, dink and dunk scheme.
Conservative stuff, yeah.
He threw for 74%, right? So
you take the good with the bad.
Right. So that's the trade-off there. So
and not just that, Kaza, and this is just my own observation, but when you get hit so much and you got guys in your face on every other play, it's hard to get a rhythm, man.
It is,
it's really hard to, because God, Jonathan Vilma even said this, man. Like, you notice like those throws he missed, his feet weren't set. You know why? He's not used to setting his feet. He's not used to having time to set his feet. You understand what I'm saying? Quarterbacks need to get in the rhythm, man.
One clean pocket he had, it was beautiful pass to
right down on the dime.
Just like,
but that doesn't happen enough.
No, it doesn't happen
nearly enough.
No. And correct, JG. A lot of drop passes.
That's just been the theme all season, man.
Miles Sanders finally showed up today.
He had a really good game. Miles had a really
10
good game.
Rushes for like 74 yards.
Yeah. You had the big one for 48 yards.
Yeah. Thanks for but that's because the Panthers, I will say this, under the new coaching staff or the new head coach, Chris Tabor, they've committed to the run.
Yeah.
You could tell in practice, they're like, look, we're going to run the ball. We're going to try and make things easy for a quarterback. You can't, first of all, I don't think that having any rookie quarterback and then throwing more passes than any other team in the league is a recipe.
It's a bad formula.
That is not a recipe for success.
It's a bad formula. Yep.
You put way too much pressure on your quarterback.
Right? I mean, that's an understatement with Bryce, man.
And you can't protect him, and he's got nobody to throw to except for a 35-year-old slot receiver.
Right, who everybody's paying extra attention to now.
They're triple teaming Adam Thielen. A double team and shading coverage over Adam Thielen. That man had never seen a triple team in his life.
Oh, side note real quick, Kaza. You want to take a wild guess who was inactive today? Just take a wild guess who was in healthy scratch inactive today. Take a guess.
Harris Marshall. Speaking of healthy, what's his face got injured first play of the game.
Injured.
Did y'all see the replay? Now, I'm not saying that professional athletes fake injuries. That would be remiss and insulting to imply such a thing.
Of course, they work hard to play on
right. But I didn't see. They carted this man off. I didn't see. Did y'all see something that I didn't? Maybe I missed something.
We may have, if y'all saw something.
If you saw what this injury was, that Carter, and then he giving a thumbs up, like, man, put your damn hand down, man.
First of all, nobody cares.
Okay, you noticed that when he was lying there, the rest of the team was like,
man, get your ass up, man.
They were, a lot of times when players get injured, they like, hey,
man, you straight, good.
Nah, they wait for the next.
Hey, what's the next play?
Yeah, like he over there. They just. Then he thought, man.
That looked like a case of fuck this shit. I don't want to play anymore.
Maybe y'all saw something
that we didn't. Please, if y'all did, let us know in the comments, please, because man.
I hope he's doing okay.
I hope he's fine.
I hope he heals. I'm not doing offensive or defensive MVP because that's stupid. So let's look at we play the Falcons next week.
We got the Falcons next week. Let me be clear. Before I make my prediction on the Falcons, y'all in the comment section, let me be clear. My pick is this is a totally fan pick. This is not sensible. I'm not coming at you as an analyst. I'm picking the Falcons to win as a fan. No. I'm picking the Panthers to beat the Falcons just because I hate the Falcons. Do I believe that? Probably not. But I'm going to pick us to win, man.
Yeah, I don't think they'll beat the Falcons. But, yeah, I'll pick them to win.
I'll pick them because, what does it matter at this point?
The thing, like, you feel like Desmond Ritter's good for
giving you one or two, right?
Yeah, against a solid Panthers defense. I mean, Derek Carr has looked bad in 2 games against the Panthers, right?
Right.
And so if the offense can hold up just a little bit, they might have a chance. They're not going to win, though. In fact, I've had this comment up there too long. The Panthers' last 4 games, Falcons, Packers, Jags, Bucks. Did we win any of those?
I'm still going to say we win next week. After that, nah.
There's no way we beat the Packers.
Green Bay.
Maybe the Jags. Trevor Lawrence probably won't play. Okay.
No.
So we won't beat the Jags.
Nope.
The Bucks.
At home.
The Bucks will be. They're going to play all their guys because
they're fighting for the playoffs.
They'll want that playoffs, the division win.
So with that being said, absolutely not. If they care, if that last game of the season we play them, nah, we don't beat them.
Yeah, we don't win.
I'm gonna pick the Falcons just for the hell of it. Pick us to beat the Falcons.
1-16. That will officially be the worst record in NFL history for a team with at least 1 win.
Right.
Because they've extended the season.
Right.
Now Detroit went 0-17.
Right.
Or I'm sorry, 0-16.
Yeah.
But now there's 17 games in the regular season. So that will officially be the second worst record in NFL history.
Jesus Christ, man!
And we don't have
a first round pick
to show for it.
David Tepper has sucked all the fun out of Charlotte, man.
No. Music's back, bro.
Sorry. I did see Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm sorry. Yeah. Which is way more entertaining than any Panthers game.
Right now, this is a...
Yeah, JG, I'm picking us to beat the Falcons to spite Danny. Thank you. That was the reason I was really looking for. Thank you, JG. That's what I couldn't think of. Absolutely.
Hey, defensive MVP Derek Brown. Okay, I'll do that.
Hey, Prillard, happy birthday, man. I didn't think you come on today because your boys lost today. You can't pick on us today. But happy birthday, Prillard.
What if we beat the Falcons, man? Actually, see, here's the thing. If we beat Tampa, we'll be helping the Falcons.
Guys, it doesn't matter, man.
No. Sell the team.
Please sell the
Sell it to Las Vegas. Sorry, got it. Who needs an NFL team?
Sell it to what's the dude who owns all the NASCAR stuff? His sons. You know,
the Hendrick family.
No, not the Hendricks. The other people. Oh God, man. Somebody. What's the old NASCAR family out there
that actually owns the track?
Yeah, them dudes, man.
The people that were rumored to buy the Panthers.
Thank you.
Originally.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, whatever their name is.
Yeah.
Pilar, please call me an undercover Falcons fan. You must be crazy.
I ain't never cheered for Falcons.
I ain't never in a day in my life, bro.
Not a single day. not when they.
Not even against the Cowboys, and I'll just stay neutral with that. Yeah.
Not when they played in the Super Bowl against Denver or New England.
No.
Boy, you know what? My favorite football game of all time is
What? New England?
Patriots, Falcons, Super Bowl. Man, that was a good game. Great game.
I celebrate every March 28th. I celebrate that day.
All right.
So now,
okay, we can get a little.
Yeah,
a little.
The other team actually won a game.
Won a game. Hey, I picked them.
Thanks, Kaiser.
Oh, actually, yeah. Oh, now Michael Jordan owns a successful NASCAR team. He can buy the Panthers. He got money, right? He sold the Hornets, so he got enough money to buy the Panthers.
Oh God, could you imagine the media system? Oh my God, you want to talk about pitchforks and knives and boy, woo wee.
So yeah, I predicted that the Panthers would go. Hornets. I'm sorry, the Hornets would go 2-0 next week or this past week. They did not, but they went 1-1. And actually, I think if Mark Williams plays against Chicago, they might have won that game. They only lost by 11, and they lost because Vucevic was
looking like
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out there. I mean, yeah, we couldn't do anything about that. And then they played a really, I'm not gonna say good game, but they played an interesting game against Toronto.
Yeah.
Which I figured they would beat the Raptors because the Raptors aren't as good as they think that they are. The Raptors are not that good, okay? And
apparently some of their fans think they're still in 2018.
Go to the Raptors subreddit, and they were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe we lost to the Hornets."
Like their record's so much
better. The Hornets are one win behind the Raptors in the conference standings. Like, I don't understand what they were. Anyway, both of those are just a microcosm of the Hornet season, right?
Yeah, right.
From the lows to the highs.
No, never a full roster. Never.
Yeah. Somebody is always injured, and we always have to rely on these. Even the Raptors game, we had to rely on a huge fourth quarter from our best guys to put away a team that we were up 20 on.
Right.
And this is another thing that this actually bothers me about that win. When we beat Brooklyn the week before last week, the Hornets shot 58% from three to win by 1. Right? Clearly unsustainable. They shot 53% from three against the Raptors last night.
And still barely pulled off. Right.
Barely, almost lost the game. Really had to pull it out in the last minute or so. It's unsustainable you can't shoot 58 and 53% from 3-point range and only win by a point or 3 or 4 points. Something's got to give there. There's something.
I tell you, I'm gonna tell you what gives with the Hornets, man. It's the same. Look, man, I'll say this again. Hornets fans are really tough on Steve Clifford, but I'm gonna say this again. Here's why I'm not so tough on Steve Clifford. You got two coaches back to back who have said the same thing repeatedly about the roster: toughness, defense, rebounding.
Yep.
It's the same thing, dude.
Yep.
Look, if you look at that Raptors game, we're up big. What did they do? They increased defensive pressure, defensive effort, whatever you want to call it. That's how they got back in the game.
Yeah.
But we don't put. Let me say something. I had a friend of mine. I argue with him all the time, every day. But he made a really good point. I can't argue this. You ever notice how the Hornets, I can't even think of the last time we comfortably won a game. We don't ever win games comfortably. Yeah. But you know why we don't win games comfortably? Because we don't put away teams because we don't play consistent defense.
The Hornets get so lazy with the lead.
Right.
It's infuriating.
Not only just the defense, but they lose focus and they start turning the ball over, which not having LaMelo Ball hurts in that regard. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, you're still professional. You still got to take care of the damn ball, man.
Yeah. In fact, when I saw them went up by 20, I thought, it's a running joke in the game thread now. The Hornets have a fast start. They're going to lose.
They're going to, yeah, right.
And
or at least lose the lead.
What was funny is in previous seasons, we always lamented the Hornets slow starts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, if only they would start faster, they'd win this game. Well, now they're starting fast and they can't hold these leads. And it comes down to needing a big shot from Terry Rozier in the fourth quarter.
Right.
So,
and I don't know what it is with this team in the third quarter and the start of these fourth quarters, man, where they just lose focus. and just allow these teams to come back, man. I don't know. It's
okay. We're gonna talk about Brandon Miller in a minute. A lot of comments about him.
Yeah,
that might be an early shout at the NBA,
right?
For that. But Queen City Hornets says,
QC Hornets, welcome, man. Thank you for coming on, man. Robbie, I see you out there too.
No skeletons in this chat. What is the risk in waiving Book Knight and signing Danny Green to a rest of your deal? Cliff said he's not playing Book Knight anyways. What's the risk? Why not sign Danny?
So I'll tell you the risk. 2 words: guaranteed contract. You cut James Book Knight, you still got to pay him. No team wants to do that. And
for Danny Green.
For Danny Green. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get Danny Green from a veteran standpoint where you got leadership on the bench or whatever. But you got to understand this. And this is strictly, I'm coming from a standpoint of just roster composition. You cut a 2 guard, which you already got too many of, to go sign another 2 guard, which you already got too many of. What I would rather do, this is just my opinion. I don't know if Mitch will even think about doing this, which I really think he should. Since Kai Jones lost his damn mind on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, a few months ago, there's now a need for a 3rd center. Yeah. Because Richards went down. Mark Williams is battling back injuries, which we'll talk about in a minute, which could be serious. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So now there's a legitimate need for a 3rd center on this roster. Now for that 3rd center spot, you go get somebody who can fill that same leadership role. I don't have a name for you. You get what I'm saying? I don't have like a guy I have in mind, but I'd much rather have a vet big man than to have another wing on the team.
Yeah, I agree. PJ can no longer play the 5.
Right. I don't want to see that anymore.
I don't want to see it anymore. It doesn't
man.
work. The Hornets are clearly at
and that's no knock on him. That's not a knock on PJ.
He's just doing what he's asked to do, but he's not a 5.
Right.
You know, I mean, offensively, he can pull the other team's big away from the basket and open up some rebounding opportunity and shoot the 3. But having said that, if PJ's not on, if we get bad PJ, it's
a bad night.
A moot point,
it's always a bad night. Yep. He's such an X factor on this team, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing about waiving Book or McGowan's.
You'd better not waive McGowan's.
Yeah, I think you got to keep McGowan's and Nick Smith Jr. Like, you still got these young guys that possibly have some value. Mm-hmm. It's probably more valuable to package them up in trades than just waive them outright.
And plus, you just don't see a lot of NBA teams just outright waiving people unless it's an unguaranteed contract. Yeah,
you know
what I mean?
Or unless it's some craziness like the Kai Jones situation or whatever.
Right.
They do have to do something about the 2 guard situation.
Yeah, we've said that a lot, man. Yeah.
And you know they need it. They still need a backup point guard. Ish Smith is doing what he can, but he's like 5 million years old, and
dude,
I don't.
He was literally on his way to retirement. I'm not even knocking him. That's not even a knock on him either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So, that's where the holes are with the Hornets, and most of those holes are because they cannot stay healthy. If they could stay healthy, if you had LaMelo Ball every game, then the rotations would be more stable and you'd have better bench rotation. You wouldn't even really need that much from Ish Smith because then you've got PJ and Gordon or PJ and Miller coming off the bench.
Right.
For you, but we don't even have that. Now Miller is in the starting rotation and our bench is pretty much PJ and Nick Richards if he even plays.
Yeah. It's a big domino effect when one guy goes out. Right.
So
and listen, and we all know the Hornets are not like contenders, so we need all of our guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So but the thing is I feel like I still have some hope for the Hornets.
I do. I still do.
I feel like if LaMelo can get healthy and stay healthy,
God, man,
they'll be fine. They'll at least be. They've kind of dug themselves a hole right now,
but it's not insurmountable.
It's only like they're 5-6 games below 500.
We're not. I mean, we're 1 quarter into the season, so there's plenty of time, man.
So yeah, there's time, and you know they've got to gel. The problem is that they're never whole enough to build any real chemistry.
Right. Dale Curry said it on, I forgot which game. Maybe it was the Bulls game. Maybe it was the Raptors game. I forget which telecast. But it was like, basically, I'm paraphrasing. it's hard to kind of gauge what your team is when you got guys in street clothes all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of, like, I get kind of pushed back from that. A lot of guys think, oh man, it's excuses and we should be this team and we should be this team. But the fact, not my opinion, the fact remains we have not had a full roster in damn near 2 years. That is fact.
Yes.
Don't argue with me on that.
Ankle braces for Christmas. I'm also going to echo a comment that Rodney said on Instagram. We need a goon.
Yeah. A big man.
Because, see, here's the thing. Miles Bridges can't be the goon for obvious reasons, right?
Or maybe he can.
You think he should embrace being the bad guy? I mean, if you guys go to other fans' pages and subreddits, they all hate Miles Bridges.
The Knicks fans was booing him. Remember, he was getting booed by Knicks fans.
He shouldn't be in the league.
This is my answer to that question. If you do, you got to embrace it. And you got to be ready for it. That's the question.
Maybe,
would he even be ready for something like that?
Maybe the Hornets should embrace being the goon squad. They got Brandon Miller. We know he keep in the trunk. We know that. We know it's on him. It's not in the arena, but it's in the car. That much we know. Proof positive. So we got that. We got Miles. We know what he'll do. If your baby mama act crazy, we'll call Miles Bridges.
Please don't sue us. We don't have any money, y'all. But
Terry Rozier from Shaker Heights.
Hey, from Shaker.
Maybe they should. Maybe we just too nice. We get
Kaza,
every night.
All jokes aside, embracing more toughness is not a bad idea because they lack it.
They do.
They really lack toughness, man. And it's, hey, here come y'all. I know y'all got bullets for me on this one because Hornets fans, y'all told me that Miles Plumlee was the worst center ever in the history of life. And yet this team still has a problem with interior defense.
I really like Mark
Williams. I really do. But to be objective, he's really young, and you still got to learn NBA defense. It's only second season. Yep. All right. So with that being said, we still gotta make people pay for trying to come in that lane or guard the paint better.
I'm shocked at how easily other teams, big men, are able to score in the paint.
Right.
Cats I ain't never heard of.
Right.
Are like just scoring over Mark Williams and Nick Richards. They're good at defending the paint against smaller offensive players who drive into the paint. But
the bigger guys.
Teams see that and they're like, well, I'm just going to give it to Jakob Poeltl. Who the hell is this guy? Right. And he's just like Kareem.
Right.
Like little hook shots, all kinds of
stuff. But Kaza, I said, remember when Miles Turner was the savior of the Hornets a few years ago, right? When everybody wanted to trade for him. And I told you this. There's a stark difference between shot blocking and interior defense.
Right.
Mark Williams, Nick Richards, they're still shot blockers.
Yeah.
But they still are learning defense.
Also,
there's a difference.
The scheme, other teams scheme around them by pulling them away from the basket.
Right.
I'm going to make Mark Williams try and block this shot or defend baseline so that he's not under the basket.
Blocking shots. Right.
Blocking shots. And then, here's a little dish to the big man for the dunk or the alley-oop or whatever.
So here's 7'5" Kristaps Porzingis. Mark Williams, go try to guard him. And we're going to let our other guys just go to the paint. Yeah. And that's tough. That's not an easy thing to learn in the NBA.
Yeah, Nick is a little more aggressive. I mean, Nick Richards is Jamaican. I need you to be Jamaican out there. We know what Jamaicans are about.
He in New York, Jamaican too.
Yes,
yeah,
we know. He got that thing in the trunk too. We know this.
Make them pay.
Yes. I would fully embrace the Hornets being the '88 Pistons,
right?
Because like everyone sees the Charlotte Hornets as like this doormat. They really do. Physically.
They do. They really do.
And we make it easy for them. Why is Terry Rozier guarding Scotty Barnes in the fourth quarter? Why?
I got an answer for you when you come back. You know why Terry Rozier's guarding Scotty Barnes? Because nobody else could. That's the sad part.
He couldn't. Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, he didn't do. Yeah, he didn't do the greatest job. Don't get me wrong.
It's just that.
But
see, you have to. Okay, so the game is in the balance, and Scotty Barnes is on fire,
right?
And he realizes you can get the switch on Terry Rozier.
Yeah.
You can just shoot over Terry Rozier and score. You've got to do something.
I'm gonna be objective. I'm gonna tell you what. I don't know if you remember when I posted this in the game thread. Toronto threw out a lineup that gave the Hornets fits. They were scrambling. Even Clifford was scrambling like, what do I do with this lineup? It was Boucher, Siakam, because Boucher is the long 6'11" dude that can shoot threes. Siakam, Barnes, and God, what's the other guy? Ah, man. Y'all help me out with this. Anyway, it was a long, lengthy lineup with a lot of switchability.
Yeah.
A lot of guys who Siakam can handle the ball.
Yeah.
Boucher can handle the ball. Barnes can handle the ball. So it's like, what do I do with all this length out here? And they didn't know what to do. And that's when they came back. That's when they cut the lead down to 2 or whatever it was. So to be fair, it's like, you got to pick your poison, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You've got to – we know that teams with size give the Hornets problems, which I think was one of the reasons that they made some of the moves they made in the offseason. Notice that there's nobody on the team under 6'5" except Terry Rozier and Ish Smith, and Ish Smith wasn't on the roster to start the season off. So I think that Orlando game last year scared them so bad because Orlando is that kind of team.
Yeah.
They're everyone on the team is like 6'5" plus. Right. You know, they've got like 12 big men on the team, I swear.
Right.
But I feel like a good coach, you can't let that happen. You cannot allow Scotty. You double team,
trap something.
Jordan rules the guy, something,
and not even that. But he was scoring comfortably.
I mean, like
he was so comfortable
I swear
out there.
He was smiling. I think he was like cheesing.
He hit one side. He was like, "Hey, that was kind of easy." Hey, what can I say?
If they gonna put Terry Rozier on me, and that's not a knock on Terry, but I mean, Terry obviously can't guard Scotty Barnes.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna say we got lucky to pull that out because the Hornets play hard. They made the big shots when it counted.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Miller. Let me talk. Okay, now we talk about Brandon Miller
real quick before we talk about Brandon Miller. JG, I want to touch on something you said. This is where the fans kind of mirror the team.
Yeah.
Where am I going with this? Now, Charlotte sports fans, we can copy paste this for the damn Panthers too, okay? I have been to a lot of games, y'all. I mean, a lot. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just telling you I've been to a lot of Panthers games and Hornets games. We are a very accommodating bunch here in Charlotte. We're so accommodating and nice. Oh, where are you from? Oh, you're not from LA, but you're a Lakers fan? Oh, welcome to Charlotte. Welcome to the game. We're so accommodating. It wouldn't hurt if we were just a little more assholish.
Yeah.
Why am I saying this mirrors the team? Because the team could be like that too. I want everybody to be more mean.
There are some places I'm just not going to go to a road game in.
I'm not going to Philly with no Panthers jersey on. Nope, not doing it. Nope.
Yep, not going to Detroit. I'm not going to Cleveland.
I'm not going to the 49 because I heard they get crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go to a Falcons game.
Hey, we every time. I'll party with them after the game. We here under construction do not condone violence, but you know, just don't be so accommodating. That's all I'm saying.
Just saying it's the reputation the Hornets have is one of the goon squad. I mean, we were in the news for some kind of legal shit every week, time. Right?
Put it on the court if you're going to channel that on the court.
You got guys selling drugs, pushing weight, driving drunk, beating up their baby's mamas,
making terrible rap videos.
Yeah, giving people guns,
all that stuff.
But yet
you get on the court and it's like, oh, here's the basket.
Right, yeah. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to Boston either. So let's talk about Brandon Miller real quick.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Brandon Miller.
Let me say, I love me some Brandon Miller, bro.
Brandon Miller is a really good NBA player.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I wish I could go back in time to draft party night and when everyone booed.
We were there.
And we saw 10,000 people ready to start a riot because we didn't pick Scoot the Savior Henderson. And what makes it so much worse is not just that Brandon Miller is good, but Scoot is like just
really struggling.
He's just
really struggling.
This season,
he's really struggling,
man. It's way too early to call Scoot Henderson a bust or anybody from this draft.
But it's bad right now.
But we clearly made the right choice in drafting Brandon Miller. And the fact that what has impressed me most is that he's had to step into a starter role,
Mhm.
playing two different positions.
Right.
Both the
Yep,
three,
no doubt.
both the 3 and the 2.
Yep.
And he's excelled at
And
both.
both of them.
Remember how he struggled with the 3-point shot at the beginning of the season?
Oh,
And people were like, I thought he was a good 3-point shooter.
He-
Now he's shooting 40% from 3 on the season.
And that wasn't just him. That was the whole team
See,
struggling with
exactly.
3-point. Yeah, yeah.
So now I'm starting to see the Paul George.
Mhm.
He's still got a long ways to go.
No doubt.
He still has some trouble with his own shot because he doesn't know his spots.
And
yet in the
he
NBA.
hadn't got his NBA strength body
right,
yet.
exactly.
Right.
So when it happens,
Man, y'all, I'm telling man, you heard it here first.
like
We got one. I'm telling you.
so right now, Victor Wembanyama is going to win Rookie of the Year. That's a given,
that's a
right?
foregone conclusion.
And he's
Yep.
got the most 20-point games of any rookie.
And look, and Chet Holmgren's really good.
Yes,
Let me throw
but-
that out there too. Yeah.
Brandon Miller has more 20-point games than Chet Holmgren does. He's
Yeah.
got the second most of any rookies. He's second in 3-point shooting percentage. He's third in scoring amongst rookies.
Wow.
But he didn't get Rookie of the Month though.
Can't do that.
No.
Can't.
How do you led rookies in scoring for the month, but you don't get.
I thought this type of stuff would be over when Michael Jordan sold the team, but now
I don't know,
Nope.
man.
Nope.
Well, you know what? You know what it is? It's the Miles Bridges effect.
I believe that. That's a good
Because
point.
you know how the NBA has shunned Miles Bridges.
Right.
He's no longer in any
Ain't
highlights.
no promo stuff, no nothing. Right. Right.
Miles Bridges had an incredible dunk against was that Brooklyn?
Yeah.
That
Even Eric Collins like, Miles Bridges with the dunk.
yeah, like the craziest alley-oop.
Right.
It was nowhere on YouTube
Right.
to be found.
Yeah.
I think they're doing the
Interesting
same.
point.
Yeah, they're doing the same thing with Brandon Miller because the family of the girl that was killed with
Right.
his gun
Right.
has sued him in civil court for
Right.
wrongful death.
Mhm.
So he's got this lawsuit against him.
He still got that black cloud over
It's
him.
still
Right.
that incident is still there, and the NBA, being the NBA, doesn't work. And Scoot was supposed to be the savior. He was already in the G League, an NBA product.
Oh, Scoot got a 2K commercial. Did you see that?
Scoot has a shoe. He's got a signature Puma shoe.
Really?
Somebody explain to me.
Scoot got a shoe?
He got a Puma shoe coming out. First of all, if I'm LaMelo
I
Ball,
know.
that your company, bro.
Not only that, but I'm like, hey man, you might want to put on the
Hey,
ankle
hold
braces
up,
because
yeah.
you see what's going on over
Exactly,
here. Yeah.
So, but that's what it is. The NBA does not want to hitch their wagon to Brandon Miller because they're afraid of any blowback
Right.
of that whole situation,
The-
especially after the John Morant thing and all
Right,
that.
right.
That's all this is about.
Isn't it? Don't you love how the NBA becomes the moral authority on whatever?
Suddenly, yeah.
Whatever.
This is a good question.
What we got?
Do we still prefer Miles over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
Hey man, Shea is a baller.
Shai.
Shea's a baller, bro. Shea is
Okay, in a vacuum, no. Clearly, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has ascended to a level that Miles Bridges is not yet at. And I think, let me say this though, I think Miles would have been there if he hadn't acted stupid with his baby
he lost
mama.
the whole season.
He lost a whole season, a season in which, remember the previous season, he should have been an all-star. He was not.
He was not, right.
But I mean, he was there. He led our team in scoring. He was going to make that jump. So in a vacuum, Shea, yes. Contextually, not really. Also, what a lot of fans forget about that trade was that we also got Devontae Graham out of that.
Right.
And at the time, you're telling me that Miles Bridges and Devontae Graham for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander isn't a good trade.
Right.
That's an incredible trade.
And listen, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
We say this all the time, man. Hindsight glasses, they fit every time you put them on.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Now, from a pure talent perspective, Shea, dude, come on, look at Shea. That SGA is a baller.
Great point, Swagner.
What's that?
The Clippers traded Shea.
Not right.
Ain't nobody saying nothing about the Clippers.
Swag, thank you for that one, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. He ain't even end up on the Clippers.
Yeah.
Right.
And instead, the Hornets made the mistake.
Well, we know why. Hey, the Clippers are contenders, and they got
the
Paul
Clippers got Paul
George
George
and blah blah blah.
Even though They're not. The Clippers are not contenders.
The most disappointing team in the NBA.
Ever.
But I digress. But I digress. Yeah.
I think Miles. They're gonna have to pay Miles. They're gonna have to pay him max, and you just pay him max, and you move on. If you're the Hornets, you've got to stop trying to be the morality police. And
I'll throw you a curveball though, Kaza. I'll throw a slight little curveball at you. Some people believe Fred Whitfield stepping down is the first domino of what they think wholesale changes are going to be with
remember I said yesterday, JG, in our phone conversation? Yep.
Management,
I agree.
front office stuff, all that stuff. So here's my curveball. Whoever new management is, whether Mitch Kupchak walks off into the sunset, gets fired, whatever, I don't know. I'm not predicting anything. I want to be very clear about that. Who's to say management says, you know what, we want to rid ourselves of all this negative PR and whatever, and we're starting our wholesale changes? Who's to say they will pay him? I'm just throwing it out there. And again, I'm not predicting. I don't know.
I guess
just something to look at. That's all I'm saying.
It's going to depend on how the new owners view the Hornets in terms of how they deem success to be. Because
real quick, people can say what they want to. I firmly believe Mitch Kupchak believes, man, if I could just get this team that I put together stay healthy, I think we're okay.
Yeah,
I think Mitch Kupchak believes that. You know, because fans jump on Mitch all the time. Why don't you do anything? Trade somebody. Trade. But I think Mitch is like, I think I got something, but we just got to find a way to stay healthy.
Think about this core of talent. You got a core of LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, Mark Williams, and Brandon Miller. You know how many teams would kill for that to have those four guys?
Because on paper, that sounds pretty damn good.
That's pretty good to build your franchise around. And that's Mitch, right? So I think it's going to depend on what the new owners view as being successful.
Yeah. Do
they view a winning team as being successful? Or do they view how your team and city is perceived,
right,
and directly money,
but
as being successful?
Here's my take on that. I don't think the city of Charlotte gives a shit about the Miles Bridges situation.
They don't.
I really don't. I don't think they care.
I'm not going to call it fake outrage,
right?
Because I do think that there are some people
who have a strong opinion about what happened.
What happened, and those are all fair points, and we've said it a million times on the show.
Absolutely.
We are not fans of what Miles did.
Yep.
I'm not gonna buy a Miles Bridges jersey.
Right. We ain't riding for Miles Bridges. If he plays for the Hornets, cool, but we not Miles. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But having said that, what happened. He
paid his dues.
Yep. He was suspended for an entire season plus 10 games. I mean, what else do we want Miles to do?
Right.
What else do we want? And if the Hornets if they try and play the morality card, he's gonna go somewhere else. And
somebody's gonna pay him.
He's gonna ball out, and then and you know what?
And y'all know what will happen if that happens. Man, y'all know it, man. We always giving away talent, Mitch, man. I told you, Mitch. Y'all know it. So let's not act like this is some easy thing to deal with.
Right? Yeah. So but I think that the new owners understand, though. I will say this: they understand that they need to win,
right? And
right now, the product that they have is their best chance to build around. Maybe since Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson era. So
I don't know who agrees or disagrees with the statement, man. I don't think the Hornets have a talent problem. No. I think they have a culture and a discipline problem, but they don't have a talent problem. And you can fix culture and discipline. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Absolutely. It's easier to fix that than it is to fix a roster.
I think they lack a little bit of not even so much depth, but their fit is all wrong. They have too many two guards.
Too many swingmen. Yeah.
And this is, if I do have one knock on Mitch's drafting, it's this. Mitch tends to say, okay, we need a wing or two guard. So then he drafts and acquires a bunch of them and he tries to see
which one works out.
Yeah,
which one is going to work?
Which one of these guys is going to pan out? The problem is that
I don't like that either.
Yep, there's not enough separation skill-wise between. I'm sorry, James Bouknight, Bryce McGowan, and Nick Smith Jr. are three of the same, right?
They're the same dudes right now.
Right.
I don't know, but and who gets the playing time is the one who I'm telling y'all. Coaches want the person who plays defense first. You heard it here.
Exactly.
Yep. For all the people complaining about why don't Cliff play rookies? Why don't Cliff play rookies? Number one, Cliff ain't the only coach in the NBA that don't play rookies. Trust me and believe me on that one. Every NBA coach wants to see if your rookie is dedicated or interested in playing defense first.
Right.
That's the guy who's gonna get the time first.
Because that's the non-glamorous thing.
Right.
Defense is hard to quantify. It's mostly effort. And man, the Hornets, have they ever dove for a loose ball this season?
It's funny you said that. Last game against Toronto, there was a ball that went right by Gordon Hayward. I was like, oh, come on, man.
Now, okay, I'm gonna give Gordon a pass.
I'm gonna give him a pass because his knees can't get down there like they used to.
If I dive for this ball,
I might not play the next game.
That might be it for me. So I'm gonna give him a little bit. I'm gonna let him slide on that.
But just an example of like you got to do the dirty work and you got to do the little stuff to win NBA games, and that's what the Hornets lack. They don't do the little stuff to win games.
So I think that strategy has bit the Hornets a little bit because now you have an overflow of guards who aren't. Neither one of those guys is that much better than the next guy.
Absolutely.
And so now if you're the coach, then what do?
Right.
You pick the guy who's playing who wants to play defense, which is Bryce McGowan, and that's unfortunate for Bouknight, who I think he's a talented guy. And there is some potential there, despite his lack of maturity that we've seen. Nick Smith Jr. Obviously, Nick Smith Jr. can score. We know that.
We know that.
So if you're Clifford, then what do you do?
Yeah, and that's a tough spot for Clifford to be in.
That's not a talent deficiency. That's
a roster composition problem.
Exactly.
Right. Because look, man, it's recency bias, right? We just drafted Nick Smith Jr.
Right.
So we want to see him play, right?
Right?
But Bryce McGowan has earned his right to be the guy. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're Clifford, it's like you can't play all of them.
No.
Somebody's gonna suffer.
Yep.
and Hornets fans. Neither Nick Smith Jr. or James Bouknight is a point guard. Why are they playing over Ish Smith? Because they're not point guards.
I'm telling you,
stop it.
Shoehorning players into positions that they don't naturally play is always a bad idea.
I.e. P.J. Washington.
Yep. I know people will say it's positionless basketball.
Nah, that's a pile of crap to me.
Yeah.
Look,
combo guards
real quick.
are...
I just thought about something. Let me cut you off.
No, you're good.
The Celtics are so famous for positionless basketball, but what did they do?
They traded Marcus Smart
to go get Kristaps Porzingis.
And now look at him. Best team in basketball.
They threw away that whole positionless crap.
The Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart.
Right. Thank you.
Because he wasn't a real point guard, and they're like, we're not going to win a championship without a real point guard.
Exactly. So that positionless, it's always been a power crap to me. They got
Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, and now they look pretty good.
I'd be very surprised if they're not in the finals.
All right. I know who's not going to be in the finals. The Charlotte Hornets. You know why? Because this West Coast road trip they're about to go on.
It's brutal.
Woo!
No, but hey.
Woo, we've been talking about it for weeks, and now it's coming. It's
no.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Hey, before we get to that, we actually got 4 games before y'all see us again. Got Miami twice. I hate those.
Those are dumb.
They're so dumb.
Dumb.
Good news. I feel funny by saying good news, but Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Alonzo Highsmith are all out tomorrow. So that gives us a good chance tomorrow at least. Okay, so just want to throw that out there. Miami tomorrow, Miami Wednesday. Stupid. Pelicans Friday. And Joel Embiid and the Sixers on Saturday.
That's an L. It's
always an L. They have our number.
They bring their own refs when they play us too.
And that.
Actually, I mean, before Christmas, the schedule is manageable.
It's okay, right? But then after that,
they're going to play some good teams. I mean, of course, Miami, but Miami's hurt. Mm-hmm. The Pelicans are a better team than the Hornets,
but they're beatable.
Philly and
we never beat them.
Yeah. Toronto again at Toronto, but we've shown we can beat them.
They'll be upset.
Indiana is a much better team than Charlotte, but they are beatable.
We already beat them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Denver, that's an L. Between now and the next time you see us, it'll be Miami, New Orleans, and Philly. I'm gonna say they go 2-2.
I'm just not feeling good about Charlotte sports right now. I'm going 1-3. We win tomorrow, and I think after that, nah. Now the optimistic side of me says 2-2 because for some reason I think we could beat the Pelicans.
Man, if LaMelo Ball was playing,
I'd feel a lot more comfortable.
Man.
I feel so much more comfortable predicting these games, but I don't. So,
or if I knew that Mark Williams was going to play. Let's talk about that real quick.
Speaking of that, yes.
Let's talk about that real quick. So, in the Toronto game,
we were all mad.
Everyone was mad. We were ready to ride on Steve Clifford.
Yep.
We was ready to call Brandon Miller. And
why is Mark Williams not in the game?
You got that thing in the car,
right?
We gonna why? What has Mark Williams done? But found out Mark Williams had a back injury, which is why he missed the Chicago game. We were all mad at Mark Williams. Like, how the hell you get injured?
Right.
But he had a lower back injury. Was probably on minutes restriction.
Yep.
That concerns me because back injuries for big men,
they're always a big deal.
Never good.
Ask Larry Johnson.
Yep.
Never was the same.
That's the reason why we skipped on Michael Porter Jr., who has had a solid NBA career so far.
But we made the right choice.
Not like what people are talking about him as the next
Kevin Durant. Right.
People were mad that we skipped him to pick Miles Bridges. But which I think was the right choice.
I agree.
Denver had a good enough team to where they could sit back and wait for
they could take that risk.
Right. Yeah. So if Mark Williams, and plus these back injuries are going to prevent him from being physical, even when he does play.
Right.
He needs to bulk up.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he put on, this is by his own words, 13 to 15 pounds of muscle in the offseason, but he's going to have to continue to get stronger and put on more weight.
Right.
And is he going to be able to do that with a lingering back injury?
Right.
I mean, we're going to have to rely on him. And I like Nick Richards, but Nick Richards is not a starting center in the NBA.
Which brings me back to my point of needing a third center because God forbid we got to see PJ Washington as the backup center for an extended period of time.
Maybe we need, I hate to say it,
what you got, man?
Maybe Mark Williams not a guy.
Ooh, that's a strong take. If it gets down to the point where that back thing is chronic, I agree. Yeah,
I mean, back injuries, not ankle injuries, aren't even as bad as back injuries.
Back injuries are serious.
A lot of guys come back from chronic ankle injuries. We've seen it with Steph Curry. Who has ever come back from chronic back injuries?
Right.
Who in any professional sport?
Right.
And
but Larry Bird retired
yes,
because of his back.
And it's not a major injury now, but that's how back injuries start.
Right.
Lower back injury, lower back sprain, muscle spasms,
Yeah.
And if you can't play,
y'all could tell by my physique, I'm not an NBA athlete at all, but I have back injuries. Yeah. However, I have a back injury. And it's no joke. Sometimes you can't walk.
Yeah.
Let alone play basketball. So
I don't know. That's going to be one to monitor.
Yeah,
that would be so unfortunate that we draft a really good player and then he ends up with chronic back injury.
We can just hope that it's not serious, man. I hope this is all for nothing. I hope it was just a little bit of pain he felt, or he fell the wrong way, something. Let's just hope it's not.
Hornets staff needs new trainers.
That's the first thing the owners need to do.
Yes, yeah. I'm firing everybody.
Yeah.
Team doctors, everyone.
Because this team
gotta go.
It can't be that much bad luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously, dude.
We can't be that snake bit.
Right.
Mano got something to say to Skeleton Jack. We all have something to say.
Everybody has. I got something to say to that. If we were on FCC air, I could not say it. Yeah. So I'm not gonna say it here.
Hey, Brandon Miller's doing all the talking for us.
Right. Pretty much.
Yeah. We've gone a little bit over today, but I think we deserved it today because we
needed each other today.
Yeah. I don't know how much more of this I can take from the Carolina Panthers. Can I survive 4 more games?
God, we got 4 more games of this shit, man. Good God. I'm bringing alcohol next week. I don't care what you say.
Yeah. Actually, I have some. I chose to abstain today because it could get out of hand after today.
We might be way off the rails if we start drinking.
This was going to be my shout at Sean McDermott.
While we're here, let's just go ahead and let's get to it. Shout out, shout outs. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Kaiser. While we're here.
Sean McDermott.
If you don't shut your ass up.
Yeah, it came out recently. Two things about Sean McDermott. It came out recently. Former Panthers assistant coaches stated that Sean McDermott used to talk shit about Cam Newton, like behind his back, really.
Yeah.
Like to the other coaches and the rest of the staff.
That's dirty as hell, man.
Right. Now,
oh boy.
I understand that Sean McDermott was the defensive coordinator for the Panthers, and the defense was his, right? But this guy, Cam Newton, is making you look good.
Right. Keeping your defense off the field.
Yeah, the defense was stellar under Sean McDermott. Make no mistake about that. But Cam Newton carried the offense. Cam Newton was the Carolina Panthers. If Cam Newton's not Cam Newton in 2016, they don't go to the Super Bowl. I don't give a damn how good the defense was.
Exactly.
I don't care. What could you possibly say about Cam Newton? What could you? Okay, Cam Newton wasn't perfect, but I don't understand what Sean McDermott's beef could have been with Cam Newton, the guy who's
I got an idea.
Literally dragging the offense to wins every week, right?
Right.
And it was the defense that lost that game against Atlanta, right? We would have had a perfect season,
right?
But you for some reason thought it was a good idea to put Luke Kuechly on Julio Jones on a go route. Yeah, I remember that.
I was there.
Yeah,
I was at that game. Yeah,
Luke Kuechly is a really good
he
player,
ain't
but
keeping up with prime Julio.
He's not defending Julio Jones on a go route. That was you, Sean McDermott. That wasn't Cam Newton. And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, a report came out that Sean McDermott, giving a speech to his team, decided to use the September 11th hijackers as an example of teamwork.
What the hell?
And I part of me doesn't want to believe that because it's the internet and
right.
People just say shit.
However, this is making too much sense.
I gotta think that he really did say
because it's making too much. I'm piecing stuff together, and it makes sense from him.
Like, let me say this: I understand that the narrative around September 11th, radical Islamic terrorism, in the wars in the Middle East.
Why the hell are we mentioning this with Cam Newton? But go ahead.
I understand that narrative has shifted over the last 20 years. You can't even, did you know that if you make a YouTube video about the war on terror or September 11th, they will automatically demonetize it.
Right.
You're not allowed to talk about Islamic terrorism. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Cool.
I get it.
All right.
That doesn't mean that we take maybe one of the worst acts of terrorism in the history of the United States and use it as an example to strive to.
Oh my God, man. Oh.
Imagine you're a player sitting there and your coach is like,
you know what? we need to bond together. What?
Just like the terrorists did to orchestrate this attack. I might have fought the coach.
I might have asked for a trade that day. This ain't a good fit, y'all.
I think they lost that next game, which I would imagine so, because they probably like, what the fuck, man?
You talking about going overboard,
Did
man.
coach tell us to fly a plane into the World Trade?
Jesus Christ, man.
I don't.
Oh boy.
Sean McDermott, what are you
doing?
Hey, JG, that's one of y'all. That's a Philly dude, ain't it?
Surprise, surprise.
We got him from Philly.
Surprise, surprise. Yeah. All right, here's my shout at. Happy trails, Van Brett walking. Hope you got a parachute, plenty of ice. Stay hydrated. Happy trails. For y'all don't know who Van Brett Watkins is, he's Ray Caruth's boy. That's it. That's all you need to know. That's it.
He actually did the shit.
This dude had the nerve to reach out to that girl mama. Hey, boy, boy. The Stephen A. Smith word, the unmitigated gall of this dude. Man.
Okay.
Peace out.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about that.
I ain't got nothing else to say about that dude.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
Rest in hell.
Yeah.
One day, Ray Caruth's number is going.
Yeah.
The fact that he's walking free.
The fact that Ray Caruth was just walking around in California somewhere, just chilling, that bothers me.
18. He only had to do 18 years in prison.
Shout out to Chandler, man. Chancellor.
Yes.
24 years old, man. Young man's doing well, man. Shout out to that dude, man.
Charlotte, we Goon City.
We are Goon City.
We don't play like it.
They don't translate on the field.
The one time it did, y'all remember when the Panthers walk around with bats? I was all for that.
Fun times.
The NFL made us stop. Y'all can't walk around with bats.
Yeah. Go figure.
All right. I guess we'll see y'all next week.
Hey, real quick. Thank y'all again. Everybody in the chat, everybody viewing. Instagram people, thank you. That was an experiment today that we try to throw some wrinkles in here today.
Yeah, we might continue to broaden.
Yeah.
And see.
Willie, if you're still out there, thank you for calling, man. The number is open, y'all. Willie, that was really fun. I enjoyed you calling in. I hope y'all will try to call in next weekend or whatever.
We might have to just do a complete call-in show.
That'll be dope.
Yeah.
Just let y'all talk. Let y'all vent to us, and we'll be here. No doubt.
Y'all have a good week. Hopefully, if those of you that follow teams other than the Panthers, JG, Perlar, hopefully y'all.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I'm about to watch that Cowboys-Eagles game tonight. I'm watching that one.
I need the Eagles to.
Even I hate rooting for any of those teams, but if I had to pick, it'd definitely be the Eagles.
I want to see Jalen Hurts do well.
Yeah, I just want to see the Cowboys lose. I don't care how it happens. So,
but you know what? I mean, when Steve Wilkes hosts that Vince Lombardi.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
That's going to be on the front page and under construction. Why the fuck the 49ers on the...
That'll be why.
That'll be why.
Y'all take care.
Night.
Peace, y'all.
Yep.